Hello and welcome. My name is Ethan, aka True Carnivore,
My name is Travis, aka TC Breakdown.
and this is the Monday podcast where we're going to talk about anime and/or anime-related things. Today's topic is subbed versus dubbed.
All right, and for starters, I know that Ethan stands by dubbed anime, and I used to too. Actually, I used to never watch subbed. I used to not like having to read, but then I was watching a show, and it got up to the point where there was no more dubbed episodes out, and it got to the point where I was like, I'm tired of this. I'm watching it subbed, and now all I watch is subbed. I stand by subbed. I love it.
I can't do it. I've watched I've watched a healthy amount of subbed myself, but we'll talk about this a little bit more in depth later. But the immersion effect with me with sub just doesn't happen. If I'm sitting there reading it and I'm having to watch it at the same time, it just doesn't flow right with me.
See, for me, and I think other people that watch subbed will probably say close to the same thing, is that after a while it just becomes so second nature that you don't even realize that you're reading it. It doesn't even feel like you're reading it at all. So you can focus 100% back into watching it. And man, and now that I go back to some of the dubbed anime after I've watched it subbed, it sounds really bad. Like the voice actors are just subpar. And I know that there's great voice actors out there. I know there are. I've heard them. Johnny Young Bosch is probably the only voice actor that I know, and I've heard him in so many things, and he always does such a great job.
I see. I'm the exact opposite way when it comes to voice acting because I've listened to a lot of the American voice actors, and I've compared them to a lot of the Japanese ones for the subbed, and I just can't stand it because a lot of the times with main male characters in particular, they use women voice actors, and it drives me nuts because you get this it's supposed to be the absolute epitome of a manly man, and he's supposed to lead the way, and it's this woman's voice, and it totally pulls me out of it, and it makes me lose the feel of what I'm supposed to the anime itself. It's
I could see that happening, but I haven't had that happen yet, or maybe I haven't even noticed it. But I don't know. The voice, maybe it's just because I love the Japanese language so much that I don't notice it. I love the language. The voices never bother me.
that might have something to do with it. I honestly couldn't tell you because it's just I because whenever you said that it's subpar the other way around, I find it. You said that the Japanese, so the voice acting was better than the American voice acting, and I find it the other way around.
I'd say in a lot of cases there are definitely animes out there where I've only seen it dubbed, and the reason for that is that the dubbed is so good. There's no need to watch it subbed.
Like what?
Code Geass, Death Note. Those are the two that I can think of right off the top of my head. There's probably more.
Okay. Now I've an example of one that I didn't like was Dragon Ball Z. Like I watched Dragon Ball Z with the Americans dubbed, and it was awesome. It was epic, the original. And then I watched the Japanese subbed, just out of curiosity, and it was.
Are you talking about the new one?
No. I'm talking about
the old one.
Yeah, it was just atrocious. It was
See, I can't speak for Dragon Ball Z is such a. For me, Dragon Ball Z is such like a kind of a weird anime. It's kind of a classic, and it's different than a lot of the recent animes. So I find it hard to compare a lot of the things in them. And I'd probably say that the voice acting in it would probably be one of those.
okay. So you don't think it takes any of the immersion effect out of it by
There's times when I'll see a grammar mistake and I'll be like, "Ooh, that's wrong." But other than that, not really. After you get maybe at first, like when I first started watching subbed, it was difficult. I'm not gonna lie, because I'd find myself reading it, like I'd catch myself in my head reading the text, and that really bothered me. But now that never happens. It just doesn't. I hear it in my head. Like I hear the voices, the Japanese voices in my head as almost being in English because I'm reading it. It's really hard to explain. But I'm sure other people that watch sub will kind of understand what I'm saying.
I guess I just don't have the subbed experience to be able to speak the same way because I was at that stage and I still am where I'm reading it and it pulls me out to where I find that I'm staring at the lower half of screen, and I don't feel it. I just don't like it.
That's fine. I mean, there's really not like I'm not saying one superior than the other. I'm not like none of them are that way. It's just that sometimes the voice acting in the American version is just I feel it's not good enough to keep me fully immersed as where the subbed anime always does a great job. Or maybe it's just cuz I just don't know Japanese, so I can't tell if it's good or bad.
Yeah, that honestly could have be part of it too, because we don't. Well, I say we. I honestly don't know full pronunciations of most of the wording and things of that nature, because I only know a minimalistic amount of Japanese.
Yeah, that's another thing I love about watching sub too, is that after you watch a lot of it, you'll start to catch repeated words and then you can learn the words. Like I've probably learned 20 plus Japanese words from just watching anime.
Now, an example of an anime that I watched dubbed that I loved, but I just couldn't do the sub was Hajime no Ippo, because I watched the dubbed part and it just was amazing. I love the anime. Good recommendation, by the way. And whenever it came down to the extra added on part that was subbed and it's not dubbed yet, or I don't know if they're ever going to dub it, hopefully. But I started watching it subbed and I couldn't do it. One, I think it had to do with the fact that the voice actors changed, which once you've watched over 70, 60, 70 episodes of an anime and you get a voice actor change, you notice instantaneously, hey, this is not the guy I've been watching the whole time, and it kind of pulls you out. At least it does for me anyway.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Speaking of voice actor changes real quick, I watched I think it was 3 seasons of Ranma One Half, and then in the fourth season they changed the voice actor, and this is the dubbed version, and I couldn't continue watching it. I couldn't even get through a single episode. So I know what you mean when they change voice actors. That really bothers me. But going back to Hajime no Ippo, I watched it dubbed. That's a good example of a dubbed anime. And then I saw it. I just saw part of an episode subbed at first, and what I noticed is that a lot of actually probably most anime does this, is that they dumb down the language in English. So if they're swearing in Japanese, oftentimes they'll cut it out in English, and that really bothers me. It makes it a lot more not childish, but a lot simpler.
It's kind of more Americanized for the marketplace. They really just try to make it more suitable for all audiences to sell it. That's really what it is.
Yeah, I know. And I mean, I don't have a problem with it. It's just that sometimes it's like they're supposed to be angry. They should, like, angry people swear at one another.
Yeah, and yeah, okay, never mind. That's true. I was just thinking of, marketing and that sort of thing, but that's just things that they're forced to do. Also, translations can get a little messy.
Yeah, I've seen that happen too.
Yeah, I've seen.
I've seen that happen quite a lot. And actually, Death Note, probably one of the most iconic translation errors is when he's sitting there at his desk and he's like, "I'll take a chip and eat it," and then it's the funniest fucking thing. And it's just, it comes down to a translation error.
The literal translations are pretty dang funny whenever they don't try to fix it.
Yeah, when they don't try to fix anything, they're just like, let's translate this bitch and get it out there, and then people catch it.
Yeah. Now another thing where I was going before you changed the topic on me, but the right after Hajime no Ippo, I was going to talk about Berserk because I'm a huge Berserk fan. Oh, I love it.
I haven't watched Berserk in a while, but I love the soundtrack from Berserk. From what I remember, the soundtrack is brilliant.
It's absolutely it's amazing. It didn't really follow the manga 100%, which is which is why if you've seen Berserk, when you see the ending, you're like, what the fuck?
That was my reaction when I saw it.
But see,
I want there to be more.
I went back and I read the manga to figure it out. And so I know exactly why it's like it is, and it's because they left certain parts out that they couldn't do it. I'm not going to explain it because it's a big spoiler, but maybe another anime talk will do it. But what I was going to say is Berserk, they're going to release movies. And there's actually rumors of them talking about releasing one movie per year for a decade coming up.
Yeah, and I know you're stoked about that.
Absolutely pumped, but it's going to be subbed.
You're gonna have to get over this sub thing if you want to see it, man.
I know. This is gonna be the one that's like, come on, Ethan, we can do this, bitch. We're gonna do this because there's no way I'm not gonna watch that. The first one
Yeah.
already came out. I think it was January, and that's what they said it was gonna be released on January. And I saw a trailer for it, and I about crap myself because it was just so freaking amazing. They put in the original music, and ooh.
That's what I should do probably over the spring break. I'll probably rewatch Berserk and then go watch the movie because I'm almost I'm almost all caught up in Fairy Tail, all caught up in One Piece, and I'm out of shit to watch. Yeah. But back to the whole sub thing. I've a lot of the times that there'll be really good dubbed anime that you'll watch, and then you'll get to a point where it cuts off, and then it's just subbed. And the thing is, I would recommend watching the subbed part because the part that is subbed is always so good. I could in Hunter x Hunter, they get all the way up to the point where he's about to go into Greed Island, and then after that, there's nothing. It's all subbed, and it's so good. And then Hajime no Ippo, when he fights Hawk, when Takamura fights Hawk, so good. And then Berserk, the movies are coming out. They're going to be amazing. And then the 3 Air Gear OVAs that they released, all subbed, they're absolutely brilliant.
I mean, I'm not gonna argue that they're not good, but I would argue that they'd be just as good if they dub them.
I could see that. I could also see a change in voice actors messing it up. I could see lazy voice actors messing it up.
Well, I'm saying you bring back the same voice actors you did for the original dub.
A lot of the time, that's not always possible, you know.
Well, you make it happen.
Most you make it happen. Yeah. I would like to see a lot of the stuff that's subbed.
I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that you ended it and you're kind of like, oh crap, and there's more to it, so you're really excited about it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that because it's subbed, it's better.
I would agree. Subbed is not superior, but I would say that if you're a person that only watches dubbed and you come to a point where a show is subbed from that point on, I would say watch it because it bums me out how many people get turned off by subbed anime and then they stop watching a great show. They miss so much.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I really don't know what else we could possibly argue about this point because, quite frankly, it comes down to the simple fact of it's your personal prerogative whether or not you're willing to, start reading it and get used to it. Yeah,
get acclimated to reading it, and then you won't even notice it. Or if you're not, it's all personal preference. I mean, you could wait 10 years for something to get dubbed, and then it's never dubbed.
Or you can just learn Japanese.
That's what I want to do. I want to learn Japanese really bad.
Balls to it. That's what I started doing. I was like, there was a couple of animes that went straight sub, and I was like, I'm just gonna start learning Japanese. The hell with it. So
Japanese is hard.
I would argue it's not because I've studied other languages and I know a few languages, and Japanese is relatively easy compared to like English.
Yeah, definitely. English is probably the hardest language to learn if you're not actually English.
Yeah, it's got to suck for everybody else. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if you really want to watch subbed, you either have to get used to it or learn Japanese. Those are really your only 2 options. Because
that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and
because powering through it really isn't an option. You're not going to sit through.
It's not enjoyable.
What was a great show, and then it's not going to be great for you anymore because you're going to be annoyed by the subbed.
Yeah, it's just gonna. It will suck. That's kind of what happened to me. I tried to power through a few episodes, and I was like, "We can do this. It's gonna get better."
It's just not working.
It's gonna get better. It never got better. I was just pissed. So, all right. Now we know how we both feel about subbed and dubbed. It's out in the air.
It's there.
Oh, man. Okay, I guess
that's it for this one. We'll see you guys on Friday.
Thanks for listening.